Hello, good morning everyone. My name is Jared and today I am very excited to share with you a very detailed analysis of the floor plans and pricing analysis of the upcoming blockbuster project Penrith. Okay, before we go deeper into detail, let me introduce myself. My name is Jared, 5 years in this industry with KW Singapore. I am specializing in new launch research and analysis. I specialize in helping my buyers spot undervalued properties with a very guided, clear framework called my P3 framework, which I will use some concepts later on in this presentation later. What I do is through this framework, I help my clients spot undervalued properties with clear exit strategies. I'm very excited to share with you this project today, Penrith, because there's a lot of excitement going on in this, especially this very exciting area. This is also very well known for a lot of $1 million HDBs and very profitable project performance around this area as well. So definitely there's a lot of buzz on the ground, and what my purpose today is to really help you to cut through all this noise. I hope you like numbers because I'm a very numbers person. I'm going to go very deep into the numbers to give you some form of assurance and some comparative analysis of how does Penrith actually fare in the market today. So without further ado, I have this screen that I'm showing you today. It's the unit mix of Penrith. The purpose is really to see what the ratio mix is like with respect to the bedroom types. I'd like to point out the fact for Penrith, interestingly, there's only 2, 3 and 4 bedrooms. So there is no 1 or 5 bedrooms. So that's something interesting to take note. Later on in this presentation, towards the end, we're talking about pricing. The first part of this section is talking about the floor plan analysis. So the smallest unit in Penrith starts from 2-bed 1 bath 614 square feet. The 2-bedroom ratio is about 33%. 3 bedrooms, usually there's 2 different types. You have the compact version and then there's of course a premium version. In totality, for this whole project, the total 3 bedrooms is about 40%. And last but not least, for the 4 bedrooms, there's 2 types. We have the 4-bed 2 baths and the 4-bed 3 baths. Total, that's about 25%. Yeah, so total number of units in Penrith, 462. I would say it's a mid-sized development. Now looking at the site plan, so for Penrith, it's a 2 towers of 40-story buildings. We have Block 72 and Block 70. I'd like to also take this opportunity to point out that both blocks are north-south orientation. You have a compass over here, so north is here. Let me orientate you a little bit. Margaret Drive Road is here. So none of the units in Penrith actually have the west side, which is great. So that's very good for buyers to know. Typically for buyers, you want to try your best to avoid a west sun facing unit. That also help you in terms of ease of exit next time, where your future buyers may also not really like this favorable fact of a west sun facing unit. Looking at each block, what I also like is they are equally mixed as well. So for Block 72, you have a mixture of the 2, 3 and 4 bedrooms. So on the other side for Block 70, similarly you also have equally mixed the 2, 3 and 4 bedrooms. Interestingly to take note is that Block 70 have both 4 bedroom types, the 1173 square feet and the 1281 square feet. Also interesting to take note is that for the pool facing units have a mixture of 3, 4 and 2 bedroom as well. If you are a buyer or investor looking for a pool facing unit, so you are not biased towards any bedroom type. So all bedroom types do get access to the pool facing as well. I also like to take this opportunity to point out that there's also a tennis court in this development as well, which is pretty rare for condos in today's market with land sizes getting smaller and smaller. This is definitely a very unique selling point for buyers who are looking for condos with tennis court facility. Also, another point is that for the swimming pool, instead of the usual 50-meter lap pool, for Penrith, the developer has decided to go for something more resort-like to really give a balanced kind of view for the condo instead of your usual 50-meter lap pool. Let's talk a little bit about the floor plans. As of the time of recording, this is just fresh from the developer. Starting with the 2 bedrooms, I want to highlight is that for 2 bedroom, the smallest unit at 614 square feet, this is a 2-bed 1 bath. The layout of the unit is properly sized, no irregular shape. This is pretty much standard kind of 2-bed 1-bath layout. One interesting thing that I see that actually stands out is that usually instead of your usual galley kitchen, you actually get a L-shaped kitchen here. And if you want, typically for some buyers or investors who like to have semi-enclosed concept, you could do that on your own. Since it's shaped in an L, it gives the flexibility to do so. So this is pretty rare in a 2-bed 1-bath concept in today's market right now. I also like that for your common bedroom, they didn't compromise too much in terms of size. You could still fit a queen size bed. The master bedroom, of course, definitely you can fit a king size bed as well. Pretty good in terms of 2-bed 1-bath layout. I'm sure this, if let's say you're an investor and looking for the lowest quantum unit available, this is probably one of the most hot selling type of unit that you'll be looking at. Moving on to the 2-bed 2-bath, there's only one type of 2-bed 2-bath layout in this project. This is a dumbbell layout. Let me just take this opportunity to also point out why do people like dumbbell layouts. Basically, it really boils down to efficiency of space. For dumbbell layouts, you don't have the issue with over too long corridors. Every single square feet is very well utilized. And also the fact that if let's say both bedrooms are separated by the living room, so there is some element of privacy which you can get to enjoy. And if you can take note that both bedrooms have access to the bathrooms as well, so both are en suites. If you are an investor looking to rent out either rooms, which is great, there's flexibility to do so because both are en suites, which makes your rental profile, your tenants more likely to ease of renting out is definitely something to look at. And I also like how the kitchen is also now tucked in. So in today's market, this kind of kitchen for 2-bed 2-bath is definitely a lot more preferred for buyers who like enclosable kind of layout. You could of course opt to do so as well. You also have a balcony as well, which you could also opt to put your dining outside, which then frees up a lot of the living space. So for 2 bedrooms, there is 2 different kinds of layouts which keep things simple. I'd like to point out that the show flat actually demonstrating this specific layout type, which you can enjoy to take a look when it's open for public preview. Alright, so for the 2-bed 2-baths, with reference to where they sit on the site plan, there is stack 1, which also is south facing, which is the pool facing, or there's stack 7, which is the outside facing, also south facing. So there's the options of depending on your choice of preference, whether you are pool facing lover or outside facing lover. You get to enjoy quite wonderful views if you go high enough on the floor level. So definitely something exciting to look forward to. So let me move on to the next segment, which is the 3 bedrooms. So for 3 bedrooms, typically, not surprising, usually for developers, they like to have different categories of 3 bedrooms. So usually you have the 3 bedroom compact, you also have the 3 bedroom premium, catering to families of different needs, different sizes, and maybe different also affordability categories as well. So for 3-bed compact, we have 2 different layouts. One is the 3A layout, which is 786 square feet, and the other one is the 3B, which is the 850 square feet. Now, let's deep dive into the 3A layout. So at 786 square feet, so for 3-bed compact, usually what is provided is you will have your functional master bedroom, common bedrooms here, and then of course, you would have your master bath and your common bath as well. Typically for 3-bed compact, I also like that you have an enclosed kitchen now. For 3-bedroom types, for Penrith, it's good to know that these are all located at the corner units. So for your bathrooms, there is windows as provided. And also more importantly is your kitchen also has windows as well. So what that means is if your kitchen has a window, most likely your hob would most likely be a gas hob. So if you are a lover of cooking over a hot flame, then of course the 3-bed compact would be able to suit that purpose. So for 3-bed compact categories, usually we don't have a few things like a storeroom or a utility or helper's toilet. So it's very functional. It gives you 3 bedrooms. It's really catered to families with sizes where maybe they have 1 or maybe 2 children at the most. Their concern, their priorities are more of getting into the address, the location, and they prioritize that over bigger space. And then of course, affordability is also one big factor why these 3-bed compacts are very popular for families in today's market. If you're a family that maybe wants to explore a slightly bigger space, you can explore the 850 square feet. So the 850 square feet 3B layout is also another 3-bed compact. I would say what the main difference is, if you just look at it at face value, is really the entrance difference. So for the 3 layout, your entrance is vertically going in like that. And then for the 3B layout, you have this recess coming in as well. For the 850 square feet, this recess, usually what buyers actually like a lot is there's the ability and flexibility to put in your own carpentry as well, your shoe cabinet, maybe also even like wall spaces to hang your photo frames and all. And also, of course, some families who are believers of feng shui, they believe that when you open up the main door, you shouldn't directly face the balcony. So for the 3B layout, maybe would cater to families who are very attuned to this kind of finer feng shui detail. This is definitely something to also very popular, I'm expecting. So similarly, this 3B compact has your 3 bedrooms and your 2 bathrooms. The kitchen here is also enclosed. There's no storeroom and no helper's toilet or no yard. So very functional. My personal favorite, if you are okay with a 3-bed compact, definitely I would imagine that the 3B layout would be very, very popular. Moving on to the 3-bed premium, there's 2 types. So generally, I like how Penrith is simple in terms of layout. It doesn't confuse buyers. Also doesn't really confuse agents as well. Some projects, we get a lot of different types of variety of layouts. But for Penrith, they keep things simple. For 3-bed premiums, again, there's just 2. So if you're looking at bigger size of 3-bed premium, you're a bigger family who wants more space, you're a family of 4, family of 5, potentially you might have a helper as well. So these are the kind of family sizes that these kind of products are actually catering for. 3-bed premium, you have your type 3C layout, which is 936 square feet. You also have your 3D layout, 1066 square feet. Let's take a deep dive on 936 square feet first. For 936 square feet, so aside from your 3 bedrooms, master bath and your common bath, over and above what you normally have compared to the compact layouts is you have this additional store area, or you could use it as a flexible area as well. I also like to point out that this wall over here is not a dark column, so meaning to say there's not a structural wall. Based on my experience, a lot of buyers, they could convert this into a study area. You could open up or you could glass it up. You can imagine the flexibility in terms of variation, how you want to use this space, but it's definitely a good space to do a study or maybe even a small compact kind of bedroom. And then you have enclosed kitchen here, and over and above that, you would also have a yard which you could install drying rack for your laundry and a helper's toilet here as well. So the whole entire setup at the back of the house is quite efficient, and I like how the flow is. Let's say if you choose to use your store as a helper's quarters, and then the helper have access to the toilet and the kitchen and the yard very seamlessly without having, if you're a family who values your privacy a lot, this is a great setup for you. This is 936 square feet. Moving on to the bigger 3D layout, also I want to highlight that this is also the show flat layout, which you will be getting to see if you manage to book an appointment for a show flat visit. This will be the exact layout they are showing in the show flat, 1066 square feet. Definitely in terms of size, is about 130 square feet bigger. You can actually see where the differences are in terms of the sizes. I would say the living space is a lot bigger right now. You still have your usual 3 bedrooms, your common bath and your master bath. Also have your store here, and then your helper's toilet and your kitchen and the yard. So again, it's quite similar in terms of the layout. It's just that the living area now, you can see if I compare it side by side, the frontage here and the frontage here, definitely this is a lot wider. The difference also comes in with the entrance walkway. So for the 936 square feet, it's a recess coming into the living room. But however, for the bigger one, your entrance is vertically in. Again, so this is a small little minor detail that if you are someone who pays attention to how your main door entrance should or should not face the balcony directly, happy to tell you that actually there's options for anyone who is looking into this kind of finer details. So as I mentioned, for this 1066 square feet is the layout that you are going to be looking at if you manage to have a look at the show flat. Now let's take a look at where these layouts are situated at on the site plan. For the 3-bed premiums, you can see that they are all pool facing. So the 1066 square feet one will be facing the pool, it's north facing. And then the 936 square feet one is also pool facing but south facing. So this is stack 2. The bigger one is stack 9 pool facing. Going back to the compact, let's see where they are situated at. So the smaller 786 square feet one, both are south facing. So this is pool facing and this one is outward facing. Whereas the 850 square feet one is south facing. I really like how everything is balanced, so like you're not forced to choose either block. That's really unique based on different kinds of preference for everybody. End of the day, for pre-launch, it really boils down to, I think, your ballot luck. and your queue number, whether or not you get to book a unit of your choice when it comes to your turn. Last but not least, let's deep dive now into the 4 bedrooms. The 4 bedroom premium is my personal favorite. I like how it's being sized. So the 4 bedrooms, there's 2 different types. You have your 1173 square feet, which is the 4 bed 2 bath, and then the 4 bed premium, which is the 4 bed 3 bath. So the 1173 square feet again is more of a compact 4 bed layout. So usually for 4 bed compacts, in terms of living space, is kind of a portrait layout but not too narrow. So this is your portrait living area and dining. So it's like a longish kind of concept as you come into your house. So on the right you have your enclosed kitchen in the yard, and then you also have a store, which in this kind of typical setup that is normally used as a helper's quarters because it's just right next to helper's toilet. So you have your master bedroom here. I also want to take special mention that this master bedroom is on the bigger side because typically for 4 bed compact layout, your wardrobe spaces are still quite tight. For this one, you actually have a very luxury of I would say it's like a mini walk-in wardrobe space, and there's plenty of room here. So typically for master bedroom, one of the challenges is that you don't really have space for a vanity table, or you want to put a study table, so don't have space to do that. But for Penrith, I like how they have actually managed to put some space into the master bedroom, so you have actually a lot of space over here to do that. Definitely, I would say this is a hot favorite lah. If let's say you're looking at an entry level into 4 bed in District 3, this is definitely something to take note of. So the common bedroom, all are sizable, all can fit a queen size bed, and you also have a common bath over here. Where does this 4 bed compact locate at on the site plan? So you have a north facing one on stack 5, which is outward facing, and also the stack 11, which is a full facing. Now, let's go on to our last final floor plan, which is the 4 bed premium type 4B layout. We are looking at a 1281 square feet. This is now the only landscape layout available in Penrith. I think they are quite a rare commodity in the market today. So you have your living and dining located in this space over here. So everything is quite tight in a good way. Spacious definitely, but then you don't have too much of a wasted space when you come in from your main door. So on your left, I like how everything is also very well utilized, very efficient. Your enclosed kitchen over here, you have a proper yard space. So your kitchen and your yard has a segregation, where previously, if you notice, a lot of the kitchen and the yard are kind of like combined. So with this segregation here, actually a lot of families, they do enjoy that. Really, I don't want to be doing my laundry too close to where I do my cooking, yeah? So there is a segregation here, and then you have your store, and then your helper's toilet over here. So everything is really quite well organized and placed. And coming on to the main bedrooms, you can immediately see that for the master bedroom, similarly, very good size, enough space for the vanity table. If you want to put it, I mean, you definitely put it because you have space for that, right? Or you want to put a study as well, it's definitely doable. You have your walk-in wardrobe here, which is an L-shaped in corner, so it's great space for your wardrobe spaces. Now, the highlight of this is that all the common bedrooms have access to the bathrooms. So it's a 4 bed 3 bath. This is an extremely popular kind of layout because whether you're talking about multi-generation living, or you have, say, for example, different gender children that they all want their access to the bathrooms, this is definitely very, very advantageous. So bedroom 2 and bedroom 3 have access to the common bath 2 Jack and Jill concept. Take note that this is only accessible via the rooms, so outside people will, let's say, if your guests who come in, they wouldn't be able to access this from the outside. And then for the bedroom 4, you have access to bath 3, which is also accessible from outside as well. So it's also an ensuite. I really personally love this layout. What I also like is that the balcony is not too overly large, which means to say that everything is really kept usable inside the house. Where is this stack located at on the site plan? So this is north facing. So in the show plan, this is the layout that they will be showcasing the 4 bedrooms. Okay, so I hope you enjoy the first part of this webinar where I spend quite a bit of time focusing on the different kind of layouts, their unique selling points, how they fare comparatively to the entire project. Now I move on to the next part of this segment where I focus a lot more on the comparative market analysis and also the price. Yeah, so as of now, I have not made mentions of any price. But at this time of recording, I'd like to also highlight that no official pricing has been released yet from the developer. developer, what we do have is the floor layout sizes, and then of course with certain price estimate on certain per square foot, we are able to kind of project what the estimate pricing is going to be. So we're going to be showing that to you shortly. But more importantly is you want to know today if you're a potential buyer of Penrith or you're interested on this area, you will definitely want to know how does Penrith actually compare to its nearby surrounding resale. So let's take a look. So Queenstown is home to many very popular condos even to today, starting from the oldest one. I'm not sure even it's the oldest, but Queen, that TOP in 2002, there's 722 units, Queen's Peak at 2020, 736 units, Commonwealth Towers, so just recently made the news, TOP in 2017, 845 units, Margaret Ville, TOP 2021, 309 units, and Sterling Residence, TOP 2022, 1259 units. No need to guess, but all these projects in Queenstown are all very, very popular. District 3, Queenstown is definitely home to a lot of $1 million HDBs like the Dawson. Fun fact for you, the most expensive HDB today, no surprises for guessing, is actually located in this area as well. So what that does is it creates very strong demand for the private residential condos in this area, because that's a natural upgrading destination for a lot of these people who have enjoyed their first pot of gold. But what I want to be interested in is I want to look at what the prices are going for in these resale areas now. So what I've done is I've put them comparatively from a per square foot basis. I want to see what the prices are right now for the resale condos I mentioned. So for Sterling, actually has already crossed 2006 PSF. For Commonwealth has already crossed 2005 PSF. For Margaret Ville has crossed about 2003 PSF. And even the older condos like Queens has also crossed almost 2000 PSF, 2009. Take note, this is a 2002 condo. Yeah. So what this is showing me very clearly is definitely an area where it's quite strong in demand. And then from transaction point of view, varying from the 1-bedroom types to 5-bedroom types, you can see that they are all making quite good profit. So this is again expected from area of very strong performance, where the private resale condos here are definitely an area of high demand. So if you are looking at this average profit, if let's say you are a 3-bedder buyer, an average profit that you are seeing in the resale market today is about 3 to 500k, and even some making just recently the news 1 mil. And for Commonwealth Towers, the older condo like Queens, was over a longer period, they'll definitely get to enjoy a much bigger profit. But for Sterling residents who just probably the newest kid in the block in this area, for 3-bedroom, even enjoying up to 900,000k of profit is definitely something worth taking note. So this concept of this reset disparity, I spoke a lot about it in my previous webinars. Some of my colleagues, Wayne, probably has also spoken about it, about this reset disparity. What this tool hopes to achieve is allowing you to have a baseline when you compare a resale property, and then because it's definitely shorter in terms of lease, and then of course on face value it looks cheaper. But what you really want to do is to look at it objectively. What if this older resale condos, if they have a brand new reset on the lease, how does that then fare relatively to the new condo that is going to be launched soon? In this example, I'm going to show you Sterling Residence with now 91 years left. This is a very, very popular condo. So the asking price right now on Property Guru, if you go and see the asking prices right now, I'm just going to use 3-bedroom example, the 3-bed compact ones. The typical asking prices right now, if you see, is about 2.4 mil. Take note that this is based on 91 years balance lease left. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to imagine if let's say this was to be reset into a fresh 99-year lease, the overall quantum, how would that look like? So that will be used from methodology basis, this will be about 2.6 mil. And if you just compare that quantum basis with Penrith, because we know the sizes and then we are estimating a certain per square foot of 2006 to 2007, the 3-bed compact layout that we should be looking at, right? You'll be looking at about 2 to 2.3 mil, about that. You're actually looking at a 300k kind of difference if you're looking at the resale versus Penrith. What this means is that Penrith is coming really, really aggressive from a quantum perspective to give buyers an entry price, probably what you only see 3 or 4 years ago. Now, I'm just going to talk about the same example for the 3-bed 3-bath now. So 3-bed 3-bath, also known as 3-bed premium, with you have the additional toilet and the storeroom. You go on Property Guru now, you're seeing asking prices about 2.6-ish. And then if you do a lease reset on these prices now, you'll end up about 2.8, 2.9 mil. Whereas for Penrith, the 3-bed premiums, based on estimate pricing, we'll be looking at about 2.4 to 2.5 and maybe 2.7 to 2.8. So what you're seeing is that a brand new condo like Penrith, we have pricing that's almost similar to the resale. So very, very competitive. So you no longer have that price gap for new launch and resale. You have a very, very big 20-30% price gap where people are all kind of like overpaying, etc. And then last but not least, for 4 bedrooms, if you look at the 4 bedrooms using our lease reset pool, you'll be looking at a resetted price of about 3.6 mil. With reference to the 4 bedrooms, which we have 2 different types, a 4-bed 2-bath and a 4-bed 3-bath, you could be looking at entering into the 4-bed asset class in prime district area as starting as low as 3 million. This is again based on a PSF of 2006. And of course, if you're going in with a higher PSF, your entry price may be about 3.1 to 3.4. Still, I would say about close to 5 to 10% lower than your resale counterpart. So this lease reset, this disparity tool is really something used as investors. You want to make sure that you're entering into the market at a very safe entry price. You want to be comparing your new launch condo pricing with relative to your resale counterparts. Exact same example has been done for Margaret Ville as well. I'll take this opportunity to also maybe talk about the 2 bedrooms. Margaret Ville, TOP in 2021, so fairly new. Today, if you go on Property Guru, you see the asking prices for the 2-bed 1-bath, it's about 1.6 mil. And then after doing a lease reset, same methodology again, you'll be looking at a price of about 1.7-ish if let's say your lease should be reset to 499. And with reference to how Penrith is going to be looking like, estimated guide price, we'll be looking at about 1.6 entry. So this is actually for brand new 99, yeah? So yeah, buying essentially entering brand new cheaper than the resale. Looking at 2-bed 2-bath, asking prices on Guru is about 1.7. After doing a lease reset, it's about 1.8. And that will be almost the same as the entry guide price. So we'll be entering at about 2006 to 2007 PSF. Your entry quantum is about 1.7 to 1.8. So relatively priced very closely to the resale counterparts. So I've got a couple of examples which I won't go too much in detail. If you are interested in really going in depth with some of the other examples, feel free to reach out to me or any of our KW consultants. What I want to be showing you is the price disparity effect. Before I do that, this is also showing case to you. Just now what we've been looking at is all the resale condos in the same area, Queenstown District 3. But then in terms of new condo segment in District 3, how does the quantums fare relatively to Penrith? For 1 bedroom, so you have Promenade Peak, you have Riviere, One Pearl Bank, the Landmark and Avenue South Residence. All these are District 3 new condos that were recently TOP'd or just launched. Interestingly, the 1 bedrooms quantums are about 1.6, 1.5. 2 bedrooms, close to 2 mil, 3 bedrooms are 3 mil and above, 4 bedrooms are. So these are all good price reference point to make note of with reference to what we have for Penrith. What we have here is a price matrix. So again, I just want to take this opportunity to just have a small disclaimer that the official guide pricing from the developer is not released yet. Whatever that you're seeing on this screen today is purely an estimate because we have the unit mix and the sizes already. What we are simply projecting is estimate PSF that if let's say you're entering, whether is it a low floor, you could be entering as low as say for example 2425 PSF, or maybe if you're looking at the highest floors, you could be entering about the 2829 PSF. What we have been giving you is the average kind of pricing which you could expect to enter. Maybe it's in the 2627 range in this table here. So for 2-bed 1-bath, you could expect to be entering about 1.6 mil. The 2-bed 2-bath, you'll be expecting to enter about 1.7, 1.8 mil. So all these are quite significantly lower than the 2 mil range, which a lot of the new condos in District 3 has already transacted and accepted already. For the 3-bed compact layouts, you can be looking to enter an averagely about 2 to 2.2 mil. And then for the 3-bedroom premiums, you could be looking at to enter about the 2.4 to 2.8 mil range. Again, these are quite a lot more significantly lower than the 3 mil mark. And last but not least, for the 4-bedroom layouts, so you could be actually looking at to enter at the 3 mil mark, or if you are looking at the bigger one, it will be the 3.3 mark. If you are even lucky in terms of your ballot number and you actually get to enter early and able to choose one of the units earlier, you might be even able to enter the 4-bed class in this District 3 and below 3 mil as well. I think if you really able to do that, then please take the opportunity to do so. In my next segment, I'll just also continue the conversation about price. What I'll be doing is be showing you how the price disparity looks, some bubble charts which able to help you to visualize relatively for each different bedroom type, how does Penrith compare to the nearby surrounding resale from a quantum perspective. If this is the first time that you are looking at this chart, let me just teach you how to look at this chart. So on the x-axis, basically you are looking at the age of the condo, starting from the oldest one on this chart, which is Emerald Park from 1991, all the way to the newest condo that we are talking about today, of course, is Penrith, which is 2024, where the lease start date is from. So naturally, usually as the age of the condo younger, so as the newer and newer condos gets introduced into the market, naturally because of increasing land costs, we expect land prices to go up, and therefore has an effect of what the prices are in the selling price. And of course, the y-axis is the quantum that this is being transacted at. The size of the bubble that you see is reflection of the range from minimum to maximum. What these bubble charts want to let you see is that for the Penrith, which is the red bubble here, you're actually, even though it's the newest kid on the block, it's actually priced at a mean level of a lot of the majority of the resale condos in District 3. This is for the 2 bedrooms. So the average quantum, the indicative starting price is about the 1.6 to 1.8 mil range. So this is actually sits very, very close to the average quantum of 2 bedrooms in District 3. So what really that means is that you are not overpaying if you are considering a unit at Penrith. This table again illustrates clearly what the bubbles are showing. And then the next one will be the 3 bedrooms. Even more interestingly is that, let's say for the 3 bedrooms, a lot of the District 3 resale condos are priced 2.5 to even 3.5 mil range, because these are typically older, therefore they come a lot larger in size. So the quantum entry into these areas here are actually a lot higher. Maybe even past, a lot of them are already crossed 3 mil range. So interestingly for Penrith, I feel like that creates opportunity for you as a buyer with the ability to enter into this district in a very prime Queenstown, very, very profitable area at a quantum that's low as 2 mil starting from. It allows you a great opportunity, because end of the day, why if talking about PSF by itself is no longer that relevant anymore, because we live in a GFA harmonization world. PSF, the truth about PSF gets slightly distorted already. So end of the day, quantum is still the metric where if you are talking about reselling next time, it's the metric where your buyer's affordability still depends a lot. Their loan eligibility depends how much they can borrow, depending on what is the quantum of the property that they're going to buy. So quantum, I would say, is still a very important metric to be focusing on. And if today you're entering at a quantum that's a lot lower than your resale, think about 4 years later where all these condos, where Penrith becomes a resale project in the market, how would Penrith look like in the resale market relatively to all the other resale condos, which then becomes 4 years older again. So there is a great opportunity, I feel, if you're able to buy 3 bedroom brand new at the 2 mil mark. That's definitely a great opportunity to do so. Last but not least, going to the 4-bed segment, if you look at District 3 resale 4 bedrooms, you're definitely be looking at quantum a lot higher than 3 mil. In fact, I would say 3.5 to 4 mil is a range that most of the resale condos are going at in this area. But for Penrith, the starting from pricing would be about 3.3 mil to 3.2, depending on what size you are looking at to consider for Penrith. Definitely a lot lower from a quantum wise in this District 3. Even same quantum as projects in the 1990s like Central Green or Harvest Mansions, a lot older ones. And these condos, again, 4 years later, I wonder how they're going to look like in terms of exit audience. What is the future buyer going to see comparatively to, say, Penrith, where today you buy brand new and it will be a newly TOP project 4 years later. So I've covered quite a bit of detail now in terms of price comparative analysis to the resale counterparts. I've also covered in terms of price disparity, how this looks comparatively to new launch markets as well. So I would say for Penrith, pricing is definitely priced very, very sensitively, and definitely an opportunity for a buyer entering into District 3 today. Now, I'll just spend some time on the last segment of this webinar. I was focused on a little bit about today. If you're an investor, you are probably wondering, is this rental in this area something that is getting good yield or not? Maybe this is some information that you would like to also take a look. It's really no secret that for this area here, a lot of the buyers here, they come in a variety of home stayers as well as investors as well looking to rent out. That's why the unit mix, if you recall earlier, the 2, 3 and 4 bedrooms are ratio-wise, they are actually distributed pretty much quite evenly. So looking at the 2 bedrooms here in the past 2 years, how does the resale condos in the vicinity actually looking at? So for like Sterling, the average rent is about 4,600 to highest rent even done about 6,000. And these are 7 years old. For Margaret Ville, average rent about 4,600, highest rent about 7,001. Yeah, so these are very, very strong evidence that the rentability in this area here definitely in high demand from tenantability point of view. And some of them are actually not even near MRT as well, and they are also renting at quite a high rate as well. So what more if you are looking at a brand new condo near MRT? I would say this is a very, very good benchmark to make basis on. So this is for the 2 bedroom. Looking at the 3 bedrooms. So for 3 bedrooms, if you look at some of these examples here, like Sterling, average rent close to 7,000, even crossing 9,000. So I would say Sterling actually is a very good baseline to be referencing to with Penrith if you are looking to rent out your unit and you're wondering what is a rent that you might potentially be getting. Very, very solid rents lah. And last but not least, the 4 bedrooms. Okay, so for Sterling, averagely you are doing about 9,000. Highest rent even cross more than 10,000 even. And not only that, if you look at the other examples like Margaret Ville, average rent about 8,000. Queen's Peak about 9,000 as well. So very, very strong. Well, Margaret Ville not even near MRT, but getting quite a good baseline rent. So pretty assured that if let's say today you are a buyer looking to invest and you're looking to rent out your property, you'll probably be assured be what you're looking at right now with all the reference data points here. So in summary, today I've covered quite a big deal about the floor plan analysis. I've also covered about the pricing analysis, deep dive into the comparative market analysis of both the resale and the new launch condos in District 3. And I've also covered the rentability in District 3, how the nearby surrounding resales are faring from a rental standpoint. That's the end of my webinar today. I hope you enjoyed what you see. If you'd like to arrange for a show flat visit, please feel free to reach out or engage any one of our KW consultants. I will be happy to actually help you to simulate the best stacks, best floor facing, which is most suited to your need. Okay, bye-bye. Thank you.